Urgent Washington Commanders fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Washington Commanders updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Commanders fans, today we're diving into something that could shake up the entire NFC East and maybe even the entire NFL landscape. We've got whispers, rumors, and some pretty intriguing reports that might signal a major shift for the Washington Commanders, and trust me, this isn't something you want to miss. So, settle in, because what I'm about to tell you could be the most talked about story in Washington in weeks. But first, let's set the stage a little. The Commanders, under the leadership of head coach Ron Rivera and general manager Martin Mayhew, have been quietly building something special. They're not exactly the NFL's biggest market or most glamorous franchise, but they're hungry. They're determined to make a splash, and with recent draft picks and strategic moves, they're positioning themselves as serious contenders in the NFC. Now, if you've been following the league closely, you know that the NFL is a league of moves. Sometimes, rumors are just that, rumors. But sometimes, they turn into game changers. And one of the biggest rumors circulating right now involves a name that many of you probably know well, Jaylen Ramsey. Yes, the Pro Bowl cornerback, the shutdown defender, the guy who's been a cornerstone of the Los Angeles Rams secondary for years. Well, according to some reports, the Miami Dolphins are exploring the possibility of trading Ramsey. Now, this might seem like just another off-season rumor, but it's worth digging into because, on paper, the Commanders could be a perfect match for this kind of move. Let's take a moment to understand the context. Jaylen Ramsey, a player of undeniable talent, signed a big 3-year extension last season with Miami worth around $72 million. That's a hefty investment, and the Dolphins, like many teams, are always balancing their roster finances. But here's the catch, Ramsey hasn't asked for a trade. No, the Dolphins GM, Chris Grier, has been pretty open about his willingness to move him if the right deal comes along. And that's where things get interesting. See, Ramsey is a proven talent, a player who can change the dynamic of any secondary, and the Dolphins, despite having a strong defense, might be looking to shake things up to get further ahead in the postseason. But the real question is, why would Miami consider trading such a talented player? Well, part of it comes down to finances and roster flexibility. The Dolphins, during the past offseason, invested heavily in their roster, and with the NFL's salary cap always looming, sometimes tough decisions are necessary. There's also the fact that Ramsey, despite his talent, is coming off an injury-plagued season, and some teams might view that as a risk. Yet, his talent and experience remain unquestioned. So, why would the Washington Commanders be interested? Well, if we look at their recent trajectory, they're certainly in the go-for-it mode. Under GM Adam Peters, who has been shaking things up in the front office, the Commanders have been aggressive in their approach, especially with a young, talented quarterback like Jayden Daniels. Now, Daniels isn't a household name yet, but his rookie contract is a huge advantage for Washington, freeing up cap space for strategic moves. The team sees itself as a legitimate contender, especially after their impressive run to the NFC Championship game last season. That's right, they're not just hoping to improve, they're aiming for the Super Bowl. And adding a player like Ramsey could be the final piece that pushes them over the top. Imagine Ramsey lining up in the secondary, locking down one side of the field, giving the Commanders' defensive scheme a new level of versatility and confidence. He could be the lockdown corner they need to neutralize the top receivers in the NFC, especially in a division that features the Eagles' potent offense and a tough Cowboys defense. It's not just about individual talent, it's about the scheme. Head coach Dan Quinn has built a reputation as a defensive guru, and adding Ramsey would fit perfectly into his overall defensive philosophy, which emphasizes aggressive coverage, versatile blitz packages, and creating turnovers. But don't get ahead of yourself just yet. As exciting as this potential trade sounds, there are plenty of hurdles. First, the price. Ramsey isn't going to come cheap, and the Dolphins, while willing to listen, will want a hefty return. That could mean multiple draft picks, possibly a young player or two, and maybe even some contractual considerations. The Commanders will have to weigh whether acquiring Ramsey is worth giving up assets they've worked so hard to build, especially considering their current roster depth and future cap considerations. And then there's the issue of timing. NFL trades are complex, and they often involve negotiations that can stretch for weeks. Plus, Ramsey's current injury history and the fact that he's coming into his prime make him a hot commodity, which means the Dolphins might hold out for the best possible offer. The rumors also suggest that other teams like the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams are in the mix, which complicates things further. It's a multi-team dance, and the Commanders will need to be strategic if they want to land a player of Ramsey's caliber. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Even if this trade doesn't happen immediately, it signals something important. The Commanders are no longer just about rebuilding, they're about competing now. The NFL is a league where windows open and close quickly, and teams that are aggressive often find themselves in better positions for sustained success. Washington has the talent on offense, with emerging stars and a solid offensive line, but their defense has been the real question mark. Adding a top-tier corner like Ramsey could be the catalyst they need to take that next step, especially in the NFC where defenses often make the difference in close games. And it's not just about next season. The long-term implications are significant too. Ramsey's leadership, his experience in high-pressure playoff games, and his ability to change a secondary's dynamic could help the Commanders not only reach the postseason but also make a real run once they're there. For fans, it's about the hope that this move could finally bring the franchise back to the Super Bowl stage, something that's eluded Washington for decades. Remember, the last time they made it to the Super Bowl was in 1991, a lifetime ago for many of you watching now. The road has been long, full of ups and downs, but a move like this could be the spark they need to finally turn the page. Of course, I have to mention that all of this is based on reports, some more credible than others. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported that the Dolphins are indeed talking to multiple teams about Ramsey, including the Commanders, Cowboys, and Rams. But, as always, take these rumors with a grain of salt. NFL front offices are notorious for leaking information just to see how the market reacts, and sometimes, plans change at the last minute. Still, the fact that the Commanders are even mentioned as a potential suitor shows how much confidence they're building in their roster and their future. They're not just looking to compete, they're looking to win now. So, fans, this is where the story stands right now. Could we see Jaylen Ramsey in a Commanders uniform soon? The signs point to possibility, but nothing is guaranteed. This is the NFL, the ultimate game of chess, and every move counts. The Commanders have been making strategic decisions, and if they pull off a trade for Ramsey, it could be a game-changer. As we watch this story unfold, one thing's for sure, the NFC East just got a whole lot more interesting. The Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and now the Commanders might all be making moves that could define the division for years to come. And for you, loyal fans, it's an exciting time to be a part of the Washington Commanders community. The journey to the Super Bowl is never easy, but with bold moves like these, they're showing they're ready to fight for their spot at the top. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, fans, the offseason is always full of surprises. Some rumors turn into blockbuster trades, others fade away, but the excitement never stops. The Commanders are in a unique position right now, with a young quarterback, a solid core, and the potential to make bold moves. Whether or not Ramsey ends up in Washington, it's clear that the team is thinking big. They're not just content with being a playoff team, they want to be champions. The NFC is tough, no doubt about it. The Eagles have been dominant, the Cowboys are always a threat, and the Giants are on the rise. But Washington's recent progress, combined with their strategic acquisitions, shows they're serious about competing at the highest level. Now, for the fans who have been with the team through thick and thin, this is the kind of offseason you've been waiting for, a chance to see real change, real movement, and maybe, just maybe, a shot at ending that decades-long Super Bowl drought. The potential acquisition of Ramsey could be the move that finally puts Washington back on the map as a true contender. Imagine the bold headlines, the game-changing plays, and the renewed hope across DC and beyond. It's the kind of move that energizes a fan base, ignites passion, and sets the stage for a memorable season. And as always, I'll be here to keep you updated on every twist and turn. This story is far from over, and whether Ramsey becomes a Commander or not, the NFL offseason never disappoints. The drama, the trades, the strategic decisions, it's what makes football the greatest sport in the world. So, stay tuned, keep the faith, and let's see how the story unfolds. Will the Commanders make a bold move for Ramsey? Will other teams jump into the mix? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the NFC East just got a lot more interesting, and Washington fans, you should be excited. Your team is making moves, and they're aiming high. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the franchise. Do you think Ramsey is the missing piece? Would you trade away some draft capital for a shot at the Super Bowl? Let us know. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis. So, stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news, stay passionate, and keep supporting your team. This is your channel, your community, and together, we're going to see how the story develops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.